Um, my name is Howard Schwartz, and I wanted to thank the people of McLean County for hosting a show of my artwork. The show will be up through the month of June, and I'm so proud to see and to have the work hanging here. I've been an artist for many years, and I was a teacher for many years, and now in retirement I've chosen to exhibit my work more than before. I have a BFA degree in fine art, painting and drawing, an MA degree and an MFA degree in painting and drawing from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. So I've been doing this for a long time, and an equally long amount of time I've been studying the history of my family and collecting artifacts, documents, and photographs related to that history. And that is the inspiration for the art that I'm producing, the images of the people that I've been trying to document their lives and to preserve their memories in many ways, including through these paintings. I want it to be known, though, that the paintings, while I know who the people are, if offered the opportunity to give an artist's talk, and as I've done that in many previous instances, I'll usually start by talking about who the people were and some of their stories. But then I've thought that that sort of shortcuts what the viewer might bring to the art. If I tell you that the painting is a portrait of my grandfather, let's say, maybe you'll feel that you can't relate to it quite as much as if it was just a kindly old person, and you could make up whatever story you want. Actually, I have a website, and if you go to my website, I do talk about who the people are and a little bit about their lives, so you could read about that if you choose to. But for this exhibit, I've given the paintings titles that are not specific to the people. I don't label who this is or where they came from, or specifics about their life. Like Whistler's mother, nobody really cares who Whistler's mother was or where she came from. You know, it's just a great painting, and not that my work is the quality of Whistler's, but it's the same sort of thing, that these are inspired by family, and that's my jumping off point. Years ago, I had a teacher who used to say that the figure is just an excuse to make art. It was a life drawing class, and of course now I understand what he meant by that. Again, given that these are the people who inspire the art and who I use as a jumping off point to make art. The final product, it's art, and the considerations that I use when producing these paintings, it's all art considerations. In fact, in some of my works, the figures are minimal. And lately, and not in this show, I've produced paintings that the people just disappear altogether, that the background becomes, you know, I call that portion of my portfolio family background. But I find, though, when I make those kind of paintings, that it sort of runs dry. I could make lots of those paintings, and they really don't have the same meaning to me. I'm going to be the one who owns all of these things, or most of them, and you know, it just rings hollow, pure art for me. It doesn't have that personal message that the inclusion of the people help to you know, create in my paintings. So I'm passionate about art, and I'm passionate about the family history. And I actually made a list of things that I enjoy as part of the process of creating art. So if you're a fellow artist, maybe you'll relate to what I'm about to say. And if you're not an artist, then maybe you'll get a feel for what goes on behind the scenes, what goes through my thought process in creating these works of art. I enjoy juxtaposing the figures in context with the environment that they're around. I enjoy applying media in interesting and different ways, being very creative with media. Lately, in fact, this show is involves paintings from the last few years of my production, from 2018 to 2021. And during that time, media has changed probably more than the images or the compositions themselves. I've started to add things like wheat paste, paper mache, lithocrayon that I used to use years ago in drawing. I enjoy that because when you dip it into water, it creates these wonderful black marks and lines. And so colored pencils, Conte, and other media. I've used tar a lot, even in previous years, but during 2018 to 2021, I've really gone heavier into the tar. I like how you could smear it and make textures, and I've done different things using tar. So anyway, I enjoy discovering new media that extends the vocabulary of each painting. If I was just to use paint over and over again, I think I'd get kind of tired of that. So that's always an exciting part of my the discovery of new media that adds to the message. I enjoy the look of ruin and and making surfaces look like they've been affected through time and through wear. Now that's not true in all of the paintings, but it is something that keeps coming back to me, that the painting itself is an artifact, just like the people that are being portrayed are left over from a previous time. The painting then becomes almost like a product, a chunk of history in its own right. I enjoy bringing unity to various passages that are created on the canvas. So I'm in the process, and I'll create something here, and this looks good, and I've worked on various sections of the painting, but somehow or other it has to work as a totality, and so bringing unity to it is a great challenge for me. It doesn't always work, and I'll get to that displeasure shortly. I enjoy fresh starts. I enjoy thinking, like setting sail, what lies beyond, and all the potential, given the last painting, this is a whole fresh canvas, and I could just dig into it, and the feelings of potential are just coursing through me. I just enjoy that sort of feeling. I enjoy getting a handle on the art. The start is full of promise, but then when I'm in the thick of it, it isn't working out quite how I had anticipated. And I don't know if I'm really going to be able to pull this painting off. And so the feeling when I finally, and it could be like at 1 in the morning, I finally got a handle on it, and I know exactly where to go with it in order to resolve all the problems that I've incurred along the way. I enjoy destroying the art when I can't get a handle on it. And that happens, but and it's a horrible feeling, but I can't go to sleep at night if this thing is going to exist and I can't figure out how to solve it. So sometimes I'll just cut it off the stretcher frame and I'll just start. I'll think, all right, maybe I'll cannibalize the pieces and I'll get a fresh start on a new canvas at another time. And that's a good feeling that whatever it is, ready or not, it's not making it through the night in that condition if it isn't working out. I enjoy seeing the figures that I create emerging from the space around it. I enjoy capturing the images of the people that I'm portraying and capturing their reality. If they stop looking like who I want them to look like, it ruins it for me. For me, they must resemble the people that I'm trying to portray. And many of them, perhaps even most of them, I never even met. They're people who preceded me in life, and yet I have a feel from their photographs of what they must have looked like. So I can't let a painting exist if the people don't really remind me of those who I'm trying to portray. I can't let a painting exist if the space doesn't feel natural. I'm not going to have Chagall-like figures floating around and so forth. Those are important things for me that are set, and they can't work around. I must have those things working for me. I enjoy the subtractive process. Sometimes I'll add material or add media and add it, and then sometimes I'll paint out sections to simplify them, or rip off collage elements, or scrape off material. And so there's a subtractive process that I enjoy as well as the additive process. I enjoy, this should have been last, but I enjoy sharing what I create with the public. It gives me a sense of completion. I worked for years and I have hundreds and hundreds of paintings I own related to this theme. And so if I only did them and hung them in my living room or threw them into my own storage area, they wouldn't give me the same gratification as sharing them with the public. I enjoy artists from the past, in particular Anselm Kiefer, who's still alive. I really love his work, maybe the most out of all artists. Recently passed away, not that long ago, but a decade or two, Antonio Tapias and Cy Twombly. Even though my work doesn't look anything like those guys, and I keep trying to make it look like their work, but I still feel for what they were doing. And I also enjoy seeing unexpected resolutions to paintings, things that I might not have even thought of when I began the work. I'll suddenly produce something that's very realistic looking, like, oh my, where did that come from? Or things that I didn't even know I could do. And so that's a great pleasure for me. I enjoy the suggestion of landscape or the space or the world beyond the figures. Even though it might look like blotches or abstraction, when I put down that media, I'm thinking in terms of what an old wall might look like, or that it resembles a cloud, could look like a patch of ruin or something from an old wall. So there is the feeling of space or the world or the cosmos beyond the figures themselves. And what I don't enjoy is the feeling after I have that struggle trying to resolve a painting, when I cannot resolve it. It's very frustrating. I've spent hours and hours and hours, days and days, and I just can't make this thing work. And even though, to a prior point, ripping it off gives me a feeling of completion, it's a very unsatisfying, disquieting feeling of not being able to make a painting resolve. So that's my story.